All right, June 18th, arm day. This one was inspired by somebody walking by me and saying, we haven't done a chipper in a while, so here it is. Hopefully that person is watching and shows up. They know who they are. And they're not wrong. It's been a minute since we've done a chipper. So a chipper typically is just like a whole bunch of exercises, reps. There could be a little bit more structure in terms of like the order of operations you work your way through with said chipper. This one, obviously, I'm going to explain here in a second. Everybody's going to start with a 10-minute bike ride, female, male, calorie cap, so 80 or 100. If you hit either one of those two in the 10 minutes, then obviously you do not need to go a full 10 minutes. You guys will notice every now, I have to, from a training perspective, find places to put in more endurance-y activities or workouts or snippets. So whether that's the bike or that's running or you name it. It could just be muscular endurance. I have to find those places to do it. I know a lot of people do not like the longer things. Again, I understand that, but in order to increase our floor and continuing to take steps forward, we do need to increase our ability to drag things out and get a better understanding of how to do it, how we handle it, and how our numbers kind of reflect certain distances or times. So 10-minute bike ride here. And obviously this is very, we do this a lot. Urban Legend is our main big workout that a lot of people strive to finish. Doing a 10-minute bike ride, reminds you as to where you currently stand and your conditioning levels on that. Although we have been doing a lot of biking this month, so people should do fairly well on this 10 minutes. Anyways, beside the point, the chipper itself. So this is a lot. It's not as confusing as it looks. Once you guys get off the bike, you're going to have the remainder of time to work your way into this. You'll notice there's a bicep focus, 4 exercises, tricep focus, 4 exercises, then kind of like a miscellaneous focus and 4 exercises. Counterintuitive there, miscellaneous focus, because it's not really that. It's just a miscellaneous chunk, I suppose, mixture of exercises. But you're going to choose 30 to 50 reps. Higher does not mean better. I think a lot of people make this mistake, so I'm going to clear that up right now. You could very easily choose to do 30 or 40 reps and push your weights a little bit here, take some recovery between them. Maybe you do a bicep exercise immediately followed by a tricep exercise. Again, agonist, antagonist. It's completely fine to do that. You've probably heard me say that in classes before. Again, agonist is your main or primary mover. Antagonist is the muscle doing absolutely nothing on the back end of the primary mover. So in this particular scenario, when your bicep is contracted and engaged, your tricep's not doing anything, right? So doing a bicep exercise immediately followed by a tricep exercise is actually just a really effective way to get 2 muscle groups done pretty much in the time of 1, essentially. I know that's not a perfect 1-to-1 ratio, but it's close to it. And you'll get through a lot more if you choose to do it that way. Again, I'm not telling you to do that. But 30 to 50 reps, depending on what you're aiming for, what you're doing, what exercises you choose. Again, just don't think that 50 means better, because it doesn't always mean better. Totally up to what you intend on doing. So you guys know it says cap at 3. I don't want you doing 4 bicep exercises or 4 tricep exercises, so you can do up to 3 of them. You also don't need to do 3. So you guys could choose to maybe emphasize your tricep, and maybe you do 3 tricep exercises. Again, just hypotheticaling here, and then maybe you want to work on the miscellaneous stuff at the bottom. Now, obviously, after the warm-up and after the bike ride and your recovery from the bike ride, which is a part of this, you have to factor that in. You're not going to have enough time to do 10 of these. So you guys are only going to be able to pick, a handful. I'm thinking maybe 6 to 8 of these at most, depending on how you approach it. Again, if you take that more a little bit more effective approach earlier, like I said, like bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep. Obviously, that is a great way to rip through some stuff. But there's some miscellaneous stuff down here that is just really nice to one-off to work on, like a ball clean to overhead, right? Like, I love where you don't have a lot of time to sit there with 8 or 10 minutes and just work on the movement itself, the motor pattern of it, how much weight you can actually handle. Like, you need time to do that. And this is a good class where maybe you can do that. The alternating snatches, I wouldn't be doing both the ball cleaned overhead and the alternating snatches, but alternating snatches, good opportunity. Maybe if you miss snatches this month, it's another movement that, technicality wise takes a lot of repetition. Maybe it's something you want to spend some time on, right? Calorie skied, right? Maybe you just feel like working on the skier. It's a good opportunity to do that. You can do 50 calorie skied if you'd like to. Break it up any way you want. Maybe you want to do bicep focus, tricep focus, a little bit of higher volume, and then do some calorie skied. And you can treat it as an AMRAP or a Metcon, right? The possibilities are pretty much endless here. So you guys could do whatever you want to do. It's kind of the beauty of the chipper. My emphasis would be just like think about it for a second and figure out like how do you want to go into this? Are you trying to get stronger? Or you want to work hypertrophy related strength stuff? Then you need to slow down. You need to take time of recovery. You can't do bicep tricep with no recovery and follow it up with snatches and expect that it's going to work very well. So hopefully you guys are educated enough. I think a lot of you have been following these videos for a while, and you guys can put some thought into this, figure out how you want to execute this and attack this in the most effective way possible. Obviously, if you have any questions, just holler. And again, I wouldn't take that bike ride for granted. Like, in other words, don't assume it's nothing. Like, you can get a lot of value out of that bike ride depending on how you approach it, especially if you pay attention to numbers and splits and kind of how your body's holding up, obviously. So anyways, June 18th, hopefully you enjoy this arm day.